So, hey guys, welcome to the YCB, aka your coding buddy. And today we are going to discuss or we are going to cover up the remaining part of operators. So we are going to discuss that. So yesterday we covered like what are the arithmetic operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division, and there were so many types of division like percentage symbol. Only remainder you have when you wanted to, you can get floor division and remainder. There was one more if you wanted to get the power of something, then exponentiation. So we covered so far we covered those operators, and we have gone through hands-on. So if you haven't watched, you can watch it. I don't know, maybe just scroll go through the videos and you will see. Okay, and so what we are going to discuss today, we are going to cover few more things. So today, without wasting our time, last time I have a habit of like talking before starting something, but today I'm planning I have a little time constraint, or maybe I need to jump into another thing. So okay, so we'll cover up with in detail. So we will focus more on work instead of unnecessary discussion. So I'm learning from you guys like what is necessary and what is not necessary. So operators, we know like operators work between two things, and where you compare them, bind that we call binary operators, right? So first thing we are okay, so let me start my screen recording and we are going to discuss it soon. Wow. So I hope you can see my screen. Okay, you will. I have merged it. So operators part two, we are calling it. So there are three kinds of operators we covered so far, like arithmetic. Arithmetic we already covered, and my forget about my spelling. Uh, Now we are going to cover comparison, logical operators, and assignment operators. Okay, so we are going to cover these three. So let's say I start with comparison operators. So comparison operator, I will try to, not try to, I will tell you in simpler terms what this mean, a comparison operator. So simply just imagine a weighing machine. You know, when we are comparing something like the traditional weighing machine, you will keep one side weight and in the side product. Okay, and what are the different options? Weight is higher. So okay, so it would be like equal. Okay, so here just focus on sim. Okay, let's forget about it. Equal. It could be equal both side, like the weight and the product weight. Uh, for example, you kept the weight 2 kg, and in other side, like you are keeping 2 kg weight is here, and you kept potato another side. Like so, you can think of like I think there are some kitchen wing machines available, so you can check them and you will get to know, okay, people used to wait for before putting anything or before adding them into cooking. So always we used to like I suppose you will check pockets and all packets and not pocket, so you will find it. Okay, so equal one thing, otherwise what it could be weight is greater than the product weight. Okay, not physics wala, it's pw. So equal, uh, less than, I mean this weight, something is less than, I mean you can say less than, or it could be greater than product weight. So we just consider one thing and compare it with other thing, and whether you are, so for example weight, it could be equal to product weight, or it could be weight is greater than the product weight, or it could be less than product weight, or it could be equal, or it could be, you can say also not equal, right? If you wanted to test like whether it is equal or not equal, simply you will say, okay, is it equal? If not equal, then add more weight. So you are comparing like not equal. Okay, so these are the things. Comparison. Is there any other thing? Not equals, less than, greater than, yeah. And or you can also compare, like it could be like you wanted to check something is like for example, um, you and your sibling or your younger sibling, you wanted something, and your father has given you something like you can take equal or you can take less because you are elder and you have patience. Okay, if your younger is taking little more, for example, they your father provided you sweet and your younger brother wanted little more, so less than or equals to, so you will compare. Okay, I have to take either equal or less than. Then you will say less than, equal. And I don't know why I'm taking this. Or you can say, and if you will compare with your like, just imagine you are this one, this is you, you are taller, and your sibling is and your younger brother is smaller. Okay, now you got sweet. Let's say sweet. I think it's correct, right? Sweet is spelling of sweet. Yeah. Now, just either you can take like a half, so you will take half, okay, and your brother will take a half, or what you have to do. So your father told you either take equal or less than. I mean, you have to take little less if he wanted little more, right? Because you are younger, you should have patience. Okay, so okay, so you said like, okay, I'll take little less, and yeah, you will say this is you, your brother. I mean, I have to speed up a little. So now the second thing is like you took little less, and your brother took little more. So this is, so it's like if you will compare with yourself, you got less than or equal. Your father said, and your father also told to your brother, like either you take equal or you can take little more. So from your point of view, you are saying like less than or equal. From your brother's point of view, you will say okay, greater than or equal. Equal, right? Okay, so now this is the simpler term that I tried to explain you. Let's now in mathematical terms how we are going to say it. So first thing, if you have to say like I know, just imagine if you'll say like this, we are already using this as an assignment. Like when you are assigning a data to a particular label, you can say data type or variable name to be precise. Then you'll say okay, assignment. So you cannot use it as a comparison, right? For comparison in math, like you can say okay, 2 equals to 3. That means you are assigning something to something, something. So here it's not going to be used. So here they provided in Python, there are, if you are using two equal symbol, that means you are using whether thing that is in the left is equal to the right. If both are equal, what it will return? It will return true, else it will return false, right? You will say it's similar. If you remember, it's going to return boolean data type. I told you like boolean data type is nothing but where though there are only two possibilities, true or false. Similar to, you can say yes or no. Okay, now we have another operator that is not equals to. So you can think of like always you and your brother, not let's take you and your cousin brother. So their father told you like always try to get more. Okay, so he based on his observation, so he will say like okay, I don't want anything equal, I want to split it into not equal part. So you will say not means this one you can think of like not, and you can think like equal as a not equal. So this operator is called as not equal. So here also you, what you will get, so your brother, your cousin brother is always going to be happy if you are like something you are dividing into. It could be like you are getting more or he is getting more. Okay, but otherwise he won't be happy. So he'll be happy, okay, that is okay, he will agree. But otherwise, if so something is not equal, so let's take example of it. So let's take here you will say, so we covered equal, not equal, right? I do not want to rush and just provide you okay, this is not equal, this is stable. Okay, so let's take example of it. Suppose we are comparing two things, two data types, two values, 2 equal 5. What you will say? You will say no, it's not. So what computer will return? False. If you will say 5 equal 5, you will say yeah, that's equal, both are same. You will say return true. You can think of like you wanted 5,000 from a person and he is giving 4,000. You will calculate okay, 5,000 equals to 4,000. No, you will say no, 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 this is less amount, you should give me more. Okay, and now not equals to, so you will say 2 not equals to 5. You will say yeah, 2 is not equal to 5, so you will return true. It will, computer will return true. Or you converter trans what we say, interpreter is gonna treat it like that. So you will say 2 not equals to 5, it will say machine hardware, can you just calculate the person wanted to do and let me translate it back and provide the output to person or to the user, right? So true. And if you'll say 5 not equals to true, you can think of like it's opposite of what uh, equal is going to do. Simply, in simple terms, 5 not equals to 5, you will say no, both are equal, so false, right? And another one is, let's talk about greater than. So greater than, just think in mathematical term and you will get it properly. So you will say okay, greater than means something from something you are comparing, right? Always. So what you will say, if this value is greater than this value, then you will say okay, yeah, that's true. Just think about left part and just compare it with the right part. So if left part is greater than the right part, that means yeah, that's true. It's like you are comparing yourself. Just imagine you are at this location and you are comparing with something, like you and your this is you and your brother, younger brother. So you said okay, let me compare. So I am younger than this my sibling, right? So you will say yeah, it will return true. So for example, so here also you are going to get, these all comparison will return boolean values only, either true or false, right? So if everything is great, like if this value is greater than this value, you, it will return true. If this value is greater than, is not greater than uh, other vice versa, then it will return false. Okay, and so let's take example of it again. So let's say 2 greater than 3, you will say yeah, yeah, okay. No, 2 is less than 3, right? So you will say okay, 2, no. You will say okay, 2 is greater than 3. You will say no, 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 2 is less. So I'll say false. And if let's say 5 greater than 3, yeah, yeah, it's greater than 3. You'll say it's a true. So that's how it's going to work. True, false, and less than. So far we covered 3 operators, and let's talk about less than. Now you are comparing. So you just if you wanted to understand like what values, so whatever it is going to return, it is going to reverse the value. I mean whatever the earlier we were getting, suppose you were comparing, like it's now you will say you are comparing with your brother, and you will say okay, let's compare. So am I younger than the my sibling? So you will say it will return yes, right? But here you are saying greater than. So you suppose you are comparing your age less than your brother says BA. Then you will say okay, my age is less than I mean less than my brother says. You will say no, 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 my, I'm young, I'm elder, my age is greater than. So what it will return, it will return false. No, you are not younger than me. Okay. So it's like less than you are comparing. So simply you can you can try to visualize it, not visualize, but just try to in mathematical term. Always whenever you're comparing, you just need to pick one value and with respect to other. So here from this value you are comparing with other value. Okay, if it is greater than, you will say, if we are using greater than, then you will say okay, this value is greater than, just like that. So example, you will say 5 is less than, here we are checking less than, right? So you will say 5 less than 3. What you will say? You will say no, 5 is bigger than 3. So how can you say less than 3? So I'll say false. Now you will say okay, what about 2? 2 less than 3? You will say yes, true, true. Okay. Now another operator where you are saying okay, no problem, I wanted to see two things. You can say like this, but in Python you won't be having, it's already, you know, in math. So in Python you cannot write something like there isn't any operator like this, so you have to use less than and then equals to. It's combination of two always. You cannot merge them into and create like a, like in math you can do, like you can write like this, but in computer you have to write like this, but the meaning is same. So here you will say less than or equals to. Now you will say if something is dono, no, my Hindi is coming out. Okay, and so sorry. So here we will compare both. Okay, so if both are equal to both, then also it is okay. Maybe you are twins and you will compare your age with your siblings age, and you will say okay, both age is same. So that is also possible. Or it could be like a few minutes of gap between you and your brother, and you are elder than him. So you can say less than, greater than or equals to. So yeah, that's how. And if you remember, like last, your father said like, okay, you are younger, so you are elder, so you have to have little patience compared to your brother, than the brother. So you can give him if he wanted little more sweet as compared to than you. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, you can do that. So that's why. So you will say 2 greater than equals to 5. You will say no, it's not, neither it is equal. You can think of like, first you will compare if both are equal or if it one is greater. So it's like combination of two, you can think of it like it. Okay, yeah, you can think of it like this condition. Here this is plus this is, it's like you are merging two things, and it will, I'll show you it, it's the case. You can do that also. Okay, and if you have any confusion then let me know. So we covered greater than equals to. Now time to understand the less than equals to. And it, okay, so we haven't covered example. So yeah, it will say, you will say okay, false, it's not, neither it is equal nor it is greater than, this is smaller than this. And you will say 6, let's take example of 6 less than equals to 5. Okay, let's say 6 less than equals to 6. So you will say okay, it's not greater than this, but still yeah, it's equal to it. So you will say true. So you can think of like it's 6 greater than. Okay, now I haven't told you that operator, so you will be confused. Okay, another, let's dive into another operator, that is not not, I mean, yeah, less than equals to, it's a reverse of it, like where the second value we are comparing, and this value should be the, this value should be smaller to the right value, or it should be equal. So these are the operators. Okay, these are basically we call comparison operator. And we covered it. So we if I have to summarize, then I'll say okay, equal equal, it is called as equal. Not equal, if not equal then return true. Greater than, greater than, less than, less than, no, I'm so sorry, less than, greater than equals to g, I'll say greater, g equal, greater than equals to, less than, equal to. So you will say less than equals to. So these are comparison operator. Now another operator is logical operator. I think that, let me say it. I mean, I forget sometimes. So okay, no, let's be serious. We are in the hospital. So yeah, so now we are going to cover one more type of operator, that is logical operator, and it's very much similar to how if you read the physics in 10th or 12th, you will know it's more about similar to that. So I will tell you with this operation first. I will tell you like this. So there are two kinds of operator. One is and another one is or. Okay, two are right, and another one is not. My bad. Three operators are there. Okay, so there are three. So let's talk about and, what it does. So in Python we do like in other programming language, there is like you have to write like this, and two ampersand symbol. But in Python, you just have to write like in Hindi, similar to not Hindi, English, similar to the English. You just need to write and it will treat it as a operator if you have space around it. Okay, and these are the, if you know, these are the reserved keyword. You cannot use and as a variable name, because it will compiler or interpreter will be confused whether it's operator, whether it's variable. So that's why there are some reserved word that you cannot use as a variable name or identifier. Or you can use like simply small letter or, right? Remember, Python is case sensitive language, so you, if you use uppercase, it will treat something else, and if you are using lowercase, it will treat something else. So it's always possible. And not, you can write like this. So now let's talk about my palm is itching. I don't know, maybe something good is going to happen. Okay, so forget about it. So here let's say true, true, then it will return true. If you are using something like a and b and a value, so it's going to operate on boolean data, right? Earlier you said like you are using different data type and you are comparing, but here whenever you are using logical operator, it's going to operate on boolean values, right? Just remember it, boolean values, it's going to operate on boolean values. And it's also these two operators are binary, like where two values are needed, but this is unary operator. It doesn't need two operators. Like, so let's take, if you are using and operator, and in the both side, left let's say, and right let's say, and so if both are true, then it will return true. If one is true, another one is false, it will return false. Okay, another one is false, this one is false, this is true, then it will return false. If both are false, so only condition is when it will be true, when both are true. Otherwise it will return false. If both are false, then also false, it will return false. So result. So let me give you example. You said something like in the Python, like first letter will be true and false will be capital. So true and false you said, so it will return the result of these two operands will be with this operator will be false. If anyone, if anything is false, if any one of the operand is false, then it will be false. Only it will be true when both of them are true. So that's what, so you can get it from this table. Okay, next is or. Or is simply where any one of them is true, then it will return true. Okay, I'll give you example. If it is true, then you, and it is true, both are true, you will say true, it will return true, because anyone, at least one is true, right? True, false, you will say okay, one is true still. Here if you see both are true, here if you see one is true, so you will say true, it will return true. Now you say this is false, this is true, so you will say return true because one is true. False, false, you will say false, no, both of them are false, so that's why. And okay, so let's say you how can you use it? True and true equals to, it will return true. False and true, so you can experiment with this. Here you just need to add operation. Oh, what happened to it? So sorry. Now next one is not. Okay, so let's discuss about not operator. So not is just going to, it's unary. Unary means simply it is going to operate on one value. It doesn't need two values, similar to the other operators. So far we have covered, all of them were two binary operators where two values you needed to operate on. I mean, you are mixing two things, and when you are adding, so it's a binary operator. All of them were binary operator, but this is not binary operator. So whatever the value, true or false you have, it will gonna revert the value. I mean, it will negate it. Suppose you have true, then if you use not true, not true. it will become false. If you use not false, it will become true. So that's what it is going to do. If you are using not, it will say false. If you are using false, it will say true. Okay, so that's pretty much about the logical operator, and let's discuss about assignment operator. So if you know, like I yesterday only I discussed, like there is assignment operator this. So based on this, you can say something like you wanted to assign a label to value 5. So you can say, if you wanted to assign something like a b as hello, then you can assign it to a b. Okay, so these are options. Now this is assignment operator. And now just imagine you have b. Let's take example. You have a equals to 5. Now you wanted to add uh, 4 to it. So what will you do? A equals to, now you have a, right? So you can call a, and I'm just using parenthesis, or you cannot use, so for easy purpose. Now if you wanted to add something, what you will use? Addition operator, addition, summation or addition, you can say. So you will use operator. And what you want to add? 4. So this is the option, right? And if you wanted to subtract, then you say a minus 4. Okay. And if you wanted to multiply, you will say a equals to a into 4. If you wanted to divide, then what you will say? A equals to a divided by 4. Correct? You will do like this, right? And there is shorthand property, like if you want to operate on the same data with some value, then you can make it little easier. Here if you see, you are not changing the, you are assigning or you are modifying the existing value, whatever you have. So how it's going to happen? You can think of like, okay, first you calculated what is the value of a, and then you added 4 to it. Okay, right, let me change the pen. So first you fetch the value of a. Just think like you are an interpreter. So what you will do? First you will get the value of a, what we have at the label a. Then you will say, okay, you wanted to add 4 to it. So you will say, okay, let me add 4 to it. Now what do you want to do? Do you want to give it new label, or the same label that you have earlier? Okay, now think of it like this. Once you will assign it, so you what you did? Okay, so now if you are assigning it something like okay, think of it like, okay, something like in job profession, you can think of like, if there was a home guard, no, not home guard, I mean head constable. Okay, so I'll tell you in simpler term. It's a good example, I got it. Constable, you are constable, right? Okay, earlier. Now you got promotion and you become head constable. Right. Okay. Maybe after, let's make it little more funny. Though it's not going to relate it, but let's say you became what we call it? What is the progression of it? This police constable to head constable to maybe sub inspector, SI. Okay. Let's say these are the things. So if you talk about this previous to it, you were constable, but what now you get changed to this. Now if someone will come and see you, they will say, okay, now he's head constable. After some time you will say, okay, this person became sub inspector. So how it's going to work? So in the same way, it's like earlier a had value of 5. Now it got promotion, or maybe the value got updated. So that's why you can assign the same new label to the same value. But what if you talk about before it, it had a value of a 5. But now if you'll check after it, it got updated. Now the value has become a plus whatever we had in the past. With 5 we added it. So you can think of like your salary got incremented, or you got an increment, and now it's a 40% of increment. So this is like you are assigning the same label to the new computed value. So it will override, that we call override. Okay, so you are overwriting the value. So before it will be the same, but after it, now the value you just assign the same label to the new value. Okay, so how it's going to work? So let's say, okay, so if you notice, we are operating on the same value. We had earlier, we have 5, and now you did something like a equals to a plus 5. Okay, so always before this, like, you can think of like this. Now what you can do, if you are operating it, there is shorthand property, like you can use plus equals to operator, and you can think like this value came here. Okay, simply in simple term, and you can say plus, and this value became this. So okay, if you, no, I think I'm using not the right operation way. Okay, okay, let me tell you in simpler term. Okay, I will tell you. It is, there is option. I just wanted to, okay, imagine you have this value. Now you just want to, if you see, we are going to use this as a this value, new value. So what you will do, if you are going to replace, so a become a plus equals to, I'm just telling you memorization plus equals to, so a, here you are going to replace a plus equals to, and whatever the value, so this was, and here what will remain, 5. So this is shortcut. So if you are using, or you are upgrading the same variable or same value again, for example, here you are just updating this value with this value, this value with this new value. So if you are using, then you can use shorthand property like a plus equals to 5. uh, I'll give you a few examples, then you will get to know. So that means a is nothing but a plus 5. Okay, whatever the value, and you are operating on that value. So this is shorthand property for this one. Suppose you are doing some minus operation, a equals to a minus 5. Then what you can do, instead of using this, it is like you can use this, or also you can use minus equals to 5. So it will come here, and it will go here, it will merge with it, this one. You can think like that. Similarly, a equals to a into 5, if you are doing, then what you can do, instead of doing this, you can say, okay, I have sorted and proper property, I'll do this. This will come here, and this will go here. Or you can think of like this one got replaced with this. So minus multiply equals to 5, you can do this. Okay, similarly, a divide by to 5. Okay, so these are the assignment operator. So you can use them, and you can also work without them. So it's up to you. If you want readability, then you can explicitly tell like, okay, a equals to a plus 5. Okay, so that's, these are the things. So is there anything else remaining? No, we covered all the things. So we covered two types of operators. First is, we already covered one, that is arithmetic, we covered yesterday. Now today we are covering, first one is the comparison operator, second one is the logical operator, third one is the assignment operator. So we covered these three. So I'll just note it down one more time. I don't think we need to and let's do some hands-on, because without a hands-on, and today I just before recording it, I thought, okay, what need to be done, what needs to be done, not need to be done. Oh, I'm so sorry. For what? Okay, so first thing we need to do, we need to close the chat GPT. Okay, so I'll give you demo. Oh, command shift 5. Let me start screen recording. Record it, bro. Okay, so you might see something like this. So I'll tell you from starting. If you are like, you are using window, simply open your notepad, and okay, and create a file with .py. But if you are in or maybe you can use some command prompt and then create a file. I don't know what's the command command for that, to create a file. So right now what I'll do, just think like what is there. So I'm creating a folder in the desktop, so I already created. So you will see cd desktop lecture, you can see here it here, right? So that's the folder that I created, not Python lecture. Okay, not here. First I have to go to like if you'll see present working directory, it's users high interrupt. If you are on Mac, you can use this, you can get it. Otherwise, if you are in Windows, just see pwd, I think it will work. And then accordingly, just go navigate to directory, or just for you it will be more simple, just open notepad, start writing code on that, and when you have to save, just select drop down all files, and then the file name should keep abc or xyz, whatever name you wanted to say, .py, and you can write the code there, right? And for me, I'll tell you, like if you are on Mac, you can follow this. So I'm just going to start with basic text editor, because it will be good, like if will follow the indentation at starting and all. Otherwise you will become you will think like, okay, well, how the things are working, IDE will suggest you code, and you won't be able to. First at starting, you need to practice the syntax. That's good approach, that would be the good approach. Okay, so here we are at this directory, and I'm gonna go to desktop. I will navigate to desktop. And then there is a folder cd python lecture. Cd stands for change directory, and here python lectures. And why are you telling? So okay, now if you'll see, there is a one file, lecture 0 dot lecture 06 dot py. So let me remove. So you don't see any file. Command prompt is good if you are using it, and if you haven't started it, start using it. For MacBook, for it could be terminal, or for Linux is best if you are using it, definitely. And here also you will get the similar kind of experience, but in Windows you have to use PowerShell or command prompt. So that's these are the things. But okay, forget about that, that's not necessary. We just need to focus on. So I'm just creating a file. So here you can use touch command, and you can create like lecture 06.py, and now I will open it. So I'll go to this folder, and you will see lecture 06, and I'm gonna use, for you it will be like something like a open with notepad, and for me it is text edit. I just found it like, okay, there is text edit. Now we are going to do something. Let's start with, so okay, I think I haven't told you, if you wanted to add comment, single line comment means it's not going to, if you are adding something comment, so it helps you what exactly you are doing. So you can use pound symbol or hash symbol, you can say, and whatever you are going to write into that line, it will be ignored. You can write whatever you wanted to write, it will be ignored by the term, by the interpreter. It will think like, okay, this person is have written something, it's not a code, so I can skip it. So that's why. So you can say like comment. Okay, so I just added like, I will add something meaningful. So let's say comparison operators. Now let me save it. Okay, so it's saved. Okay, one thing I'll do, I don't want to use full screen, it's good like this. Comparison operators. And now you say, you are saying edited, but once save, you will save, it will vanish, it will disappear. So now if I'll run it, so you have written nothing, right? Let's see what will happen. So python 3 lecture, the command how to run python file. First thing is, you should be in the same directory where the file is available, or you have to provide complete path of it. So I'm right now, for you it will be better like if you'll be in the same directory. And python 3 for you, it will be python if you are using window, python, and then file name .py, and it will run it. So you will see nothing, because there wasn't anything that is going to be out printed into the console. So yesterday I discussed about the print function. So I said like, okay, just remember it for some time until we are not going to cover about the functions. So for that, remember, this is, if you wanted to output something into the console, or you can say into the screen, then you have to use the print function, and inside that, just remember like you have to add the value what you want to print. For example, if you wanted to print a string, let's start with hello world, then you can use this. and you have to you don't forget to save it, otherwise it won't, the changes won't be visible into file. And now you can go into this terminal and you can say, okay, one thing I'll do, I'll use side by side operator, and here I'll use, yeah, now it's perfect. I think it's better. Running again, and you will see hello world. So we asked it, okay, print it. Now let's say I will comment it down. So commenting, just add symbol at the starting and you will comment it. So now this line is not going to execute. Suppose if I'll run it again, you will see nothing is output. If you'll see this one, there isn't any output after running it, and the reason is we commented the code. Now let's start with the comparison operator. So first operator is, let me comment it. So first operator is equal. When we are comparing two things, if both are equal, so let's say we have value, okay, it's automatically using, actually it's word editor, I'm using it as a text id. So a equals to, let's say 5, we have value. Another label we are going b equals to, let's say 7. Okay, now we want to compare both. So if you will do like something like this, a equals to when equals to b, and you just saved, what will happen? It is going to perform the operation, but we are not storing result, we are not giving it label, or even we are not printing it. So how it will display? It won't display, right? But if you'll see something like, if you'll do something like, okay, this, now you'll be confused, I believe. If you are a completely beginner, you'll say how you are writing this, how it's going to treat this value, you are giving something. So first what is going to happen, interpreter will do, okay, there is something that needs to be evaluated, and after that I have to pass it to function. So what it will do, it is going to evaluate, okay, a equal b, I mean a equal b, it will say, if it is equal, then what it will return, it will return true, or it will return false. Then that value is going to be passed to the print function and it will return. So let me say, share it to you. I'll show you to, I'll show it, I'll run. Okay, so here if you see false, because 5 is not equals to 7. And what is other option, like let's comment it again. Okay, and now what we'll do, we'll say, okay, no problem, we'll do one more thing. A is equals to on, it's always capitalizing, I hate it. And the reason is it's a word editor similar to the Windows, like Microsoft Word. That's why first letter it's stating automatically. So a equals to, let's say we created another label c on, c equals to, and here we are going to compare both the value. Just imagine what will be the okay, so how it's going to run. Before equals to whatever we have, that is label, after equals to, or you can say variable, and after equals to whatever the value we have, it's going to evaluate that value first, then it will do what it will do, then it will going to assign this value a label c. So that's why here whatever the value, and if you remember whatever the result that we are getting from a comparison operator, that is boolean value. You can say what will be the data type of it, bool. So whatever the value that is going to be assigned to c, if you check the data type of c, it will be bool, because either we will get true or you will get false. Okay, so c. Now if you wanted to print c, you can do like this and it will print. Okay, now you again you will get false. So now whatever you are doing, if you compare this value with this value, then it's same. First interpreter is going to create, it's not going to store it into a label, but what it will evaluate, and then it will going to, it will pass that value true or false to the print function, and then print function is going to return or output it into the console. So okay, I think now I have covered it. I mean, yeah. So let's say now you wanted to do something else, like instead of a equals to b, you wanted to see if not equals, if both are not equal, so you will say okay. And now you will say okay, let's run it again. You will say okay, 5 not equals to c, you used not equals to operator. Okay, so then you will say okay, yeah, 5 is not equals to c, true. Okay, another one, let's say another operator, let's discuss about it. Greater than equals to, greater than, let's discuss first. Greater than equals to a is greater than b, you will say 5 is greater than 7, no, you will say false. So what you are expecting, just no focus on this, you will say false, right? Because the values are not equal. Greater than 5 is not greater than 7. Now you will say okay, let's talk about the less than. Then you will say okay, 5 is less than 7, you will say yeah, it's less than 7, you will get true. Another thing, let's talk about another operator, that is less, greater than equals to, either it is equal to it or it's greater than. So you will say okay, first save it, don't forget to save, otherwise you will see the previous result only. You will say false, 5 is not neither greater than or not equals to 7, so you will say okay. What about less than equals to? So you will say okay, let's talk about less than 7, I mean less than equals to. You will say okay, is 5 less than 7 or equals to 7? So equals to, first imagine it like it's going to perform two operations. First it will check if 5 is equal to 7, or maybe you can say like okay, 5 is equals to 7, then it will say okay, yeah, 5 is equals to 7. So okay, if anyone is true, then it will return true. Okay, so you can think of, maybe I'll tell you like what is the resultant of it, and how you can treat them, you can get the same result from another operation. But right now I feel like you might be okay. So you will see true. Okay, so these are the operators. And is there any other operator? No, so we already covered all of the comparison operator. Oh man, it's pretty hectic. Now we need to cover what, logical operator. So what we'll do, I'm just commenting all the, it would be very easy if you once you will start using IDE. Right now I'm writing everything, and because we need to discuss about the indentation in upcoming lectures. Once we'll start something like loops, if block, else block, conditional blocks, there will be need indentation. So logical operators means what are the operators? And, or, and not. So something, let's say we have two operators. Okay, what we say, let's say diab, oh I don't know the meaning of spelling out diabetes. Diabetic, like let's write it really simple. Diabetic, let's say true, one person is diabetic, so you just compare. And let's say healthy, I don't know, true. I need to use a small letter if you know the properties, the recommendation H. So these are the true value. Two values are two labels we created. Now you want to do something like print, no, see result is, let's say result, you wanted to see god, result will be diabetic, why I kept these kind of variables, and healthy. What you are expecting? If you notice, first one is true, second one is true, both are true. If you remember the table, both, if we are using and operation or logical and, here you see diabetic and healthy, so that means if both are true, then you will get true, otherwise you will get false, right? So you will say okay, I have both true. Oh man, you will say okay, Python lecture, here you will say true. And another one, let's talk about another one, so it's true and true. And what if one is false? Okay, now you will say okay, true and false, true and false, false, you will get false. What if it is false and this is true? You will say, okay, one is true, one is false. Then if you remember the boolean table or the table that we created, any one is only the true. Like if you are using logical and, or you can say logical operate and operator, then it will be true when both of the values are true. Otherwise, irrespective whether one is true, one is false, one is false, one is true, or false and false, then you will get false only. You will say false. And I think you can experiment it with it. And now if we are talking about the or, let's take, okay, now what do you think? One is true, one is false. So only it will be false when any both of them are false, otherwise it will be true. So if one is true, right? If we'll get a false only when both of them are false, otherwise you will get the same. Let me clear the output console. Correct. So this is how works logical operator or, and you can explore it further. And then we have not. So not will work on single operand, you can say. So let's say healthy, something is healthy. You said true, the person is healthy. Now you said not healthy, that means false. What value you have, it will negate it. So healthy is false. So now it is returning true, means reverting the result. What you have right now, you are just using not operator, so it will revert. I mean, it will, if it is true, it will turn into false. Let's say if it is true, so then it will convert into false, or it will change it to, like when you are using not, it will be you will get reverted value. I mean, wow. Okay, so this is about the logical operators. So we have covered logical, comparison, and assignment. You can test it. It's very simple. So I do not want to use. And yeah, I'll tell you one thing. So let's take one thing. Okay, and this is, I think I never tried like this programming. I'm experimenting, man. Okay, so assignment operators. There are so many things, but you can experiment. I will tell you one. So A equals to 5, you can say. B equals to 7. I'm using the same numbers. And now you wanted to do, so you wanted to multiply or sum both of them, and you wanted to assign it to, okay, let's say result. Come on, man, this is bad. And you said like A plus B. So what operator you are using? Addition, right? And it's arithmetic operator, if you remember. So now we given the label result. Okay, great. You will say, okay, what's wrong new in this? Yeah, 12 we are getting as expected. But now you don't want to assign new label. You wanted to assign A only again. I mean, what you have a label already, you are just overwriting, and you just kept the same. Now instead of it, you will get this. So what you will get? You overridden the label with new value. So now you will get again 12. So you will say, what is the difference, bro? Why are you telling me this? Now the thing is, like, you can use shorthand property, or you can use, you don't need to write a again. Instead of it, like, you can say a, just add something to you, so, and assign it to you. So you will say, okay, I want to add b to the a value and make it a again. So okay, you can think of like this. Then you will assign it, like, you don't need to repeat the same operator again. A operand you are writing, then operate. So only you are shorthanding, or you are not short circuiting. Basically you wanted to reduce the repetitive thing. For example, a you are writing here as well, here as well as here. So instead of that, what you can do, simply you can write a at a starting, and then you can as assignment operator, and you can reduce the code number of lines. Okay, and similarly, so you will get the same result. But only thing is, like, now you are Why I'm getting never? Okay, so sorry. Yeah, here if you notice, we performed two times operation. Like whatever we were getting, Satta 17. First we got 17, 5 and 7 we added and assigned it to A 17, and now again what we did, we are assigning again the B value. So B is 7, so 17 and 7. Oh, wait a minute, 12 plus 7, 19. That's why. So I was just giving you demo, like you will get 7, 12, same value. So yeah, so that's how you can get it. So assignment operator, similarly you can experiment with other operators. I mean say 5, 7, plus addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, all the operators are also working here also, so you can use them, right? Okay, so that's all for this video. If you have any recommendation for me, let me know, do let me know in the comment section, or if you have any suggestion for me. I know when I just noticed it, like when I'm creating the videos like this, my zoomed picture is visible and on the like biggest screen. So I don't know if you are watching in the mobile, it's good, but if you will watch in the laptop, definitely it feels awkward, and I don't know how to set up it. Like maybe I need to keep the phone away, and because of that, our problem is like I have to set up lights and all. I do not want to do, at least for now. So just be with me. Thank you so much. Bye bye. And we'll tomorrow I'm gonna record another lecture, and we are going to discuss about conditions or something. Okay, so maybe what I'll do in next lecture, I'll give you some assignments and we are going to perform before, like yeah, practice is more important. And do let me know if you wanted to have some practice, you wanted to do some practice. I'll create some lectures on it maybe, or yeah, other than that, otherwise we'll start with loops and what you can say. So we already covered operators, so maybe tomorrow we'll go start with the if block, I mean not if block, conditions, then loops, and then so on. So many things will come together in future, and then we'll jump into some good cool coding stuff and all. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye, and we'll meet you tomorrow.